And there we go. Hello, everyone. Anyone there? Let's see here. Getting everything pulled up and opened up and ready to go. Got the washing machine going. I don't know if anybody can hear that. Just occurred to me I should probably turn off the air conditioner. There we go. Turned off the air conditioner. Now it's not making all that noise. All right. Let's see. What were we going to work on? Hey, Henzen, Kintac. How's it going, guys? All right. So I'm going to work on the top secret project some more today. Hopefully we can get it done before the end of the week. Let's see. Where are we at here? Because, like, the other day, I'm trying to think, when was this? Wednesday night. I think I got this. Yeah, I got this working Wednesday night where we're actually authenticating. I need to update this. Hey, GX, how's it going? I need to update this so that it works two ways. One, it'll check a cookie, and two, it'll check a header. Because for the API, it's going to be using the header. And for like just web pages, it's going to be using the cookie. So we'll have to rework this to work that way. So we're going to have one that's going to be check header and one that's going to be check cookie. And they both need to use the same logic is the idea. I did also get templating working. I need to make it better. But if we come over here, yeah, here, I have it right here. I have the ability to inject a template. Like technically I'm not injecting the template. I am injecting a function to create the template. So like that's what's happening there. It's not ideal. I would much prefer to just be able to do like Ginger2 template, index.html, username equals Zech, like something like I'd rather do that and not have to have this right there. Just be able to do that. But I can't quite get it to work with the system that I have in place right now. So it's going to be this way for now, for the time being. I spent the morning trying to figure out how to make it work that way. And I just couldn't get it to quite work correctly the way I want it to work correctly with tests so that tests can change a bunch of stuff and not have because it's got to pull information from the config file and it has to pull in the text file, the HTML files for the templates, and I want to be able to test that. And currently the ways I've tried to do it with FastAPI loads in the stuff too soon, and so it tries to load in all the stuff before the test runs and changes everything out. So I've got to figure out how to make it work the way I need it to. And like this is a good holdover for now. It'll let me. This is doing everything that it's supposed to do on the back end of everything. I just want to change the programmer experience, how you write the exact code to access what this is doing, and that's all I want to do. So it's like not a huge deal. It's already doing the thing that it's supposed to do correctly, just not with the exact lines of code I want to be writing. All right, so let's start out by like breaking this up into def check token. So we're going to call that check token, and we're going to give it the token right like that. And then we'll just, I think actually we end up copying all of this right out. And put that right there. There's a reason why. Just call it token. Trying to think here. How exactly does this have to work? Because we need to get this settings information into here. guess we'll just pass it in. Settings. And so then this is going to return check token, session token, settings, and DB. So we got to come back up here. DB, there we go. So now that's all that logic. So like all that this is doing, because now I can do check header. And then I've got to do request FastAPI request. And then it's going to do, there actually might be a better way to do this. I'm trying to think. .headers, .get, authorization. It's saying, why is it saying that? Token equals, why is it complaining about get? Oh, I see. Boom, there we go. Now it's correct. Get authorization. And then token is going to be either, it's going to be, what is it going to be? How is this going to work? We're going to split, because there's going to be, the header is actually going to be like this. So it's going to be authorization. This is what the header is going to look like. Bearer, and then some token. Right, like that. So when I do this, I'm going to get back this right here, that bit right there. So I have to split that out if it came back. Let's do that. So this way, it'll default to an empty string, and then we can do token header dot split space. It doesn't, that'll work. Yeah, think. Why are you not giving me type hints? Max split is what I'm looking for here. Max split 1, because what that'll do is, if I have this string here, which has 2 spaces in it, and I do split on space, and I do max split 1, and then we run that. You see it only split it in 1 spot, but there's still a space here. So that's what I'm doing, just in case there's like spaces or something in the token at some point for some reason. It'll just split on that first space right after bearer, and then this will be, ooh, that's not good. Can't actually do it that way. Dot pop. But if it's an empty list, I think it'll blow up, won't it? It's like if I do dot pop, so that'll get the last part of it. But then if the string is empty, we get nothing. And we get testing. I guess that's fine. All right, so that works. That works for me. It does the basic job that it's supposed to. And then we pass token to here, and then we can check token. All right, cool. Session. Alrighty. I think we're good. And this needs to be changed. Get session from token. We'll just change these. token, and then get session from cookie, and get session from header. Right, like that. And then this has got to be renamed from token, and get session from cookie. That. That's pretty simple. So now we get the, we'll call that session. Right, like that. I think that makes sense. That's working, I think, right there. And then if I were to like start it, why do I have to wait? I've got to wait outside of an async function. Wait. Whoop. Async, not a wait. Brain fart there. And I think we can do this. Let's see. Because they're not awaiting anything. So it started, and if I reload this, reload that again, it seems to be working. Why is it working? Ah, you know what? I think that might be why. Is this, so like if I did this, then I come down here and I have to await, I have to await. It might be a limitation of how FastAPI, yeah, the FastAPI sees it's a function, doesn't realize it needs to await, gets back the coroutine object, and it thinks everything's fine. So I can't do that. Normally I would be able to pass through that coroutine object, but apparently not. All right. So we've got that set up. Let me move these into an authorization, into the auth file that I have. Auth scheme. Right, so now that's all in here. We just got to get this stuff imported back in from here. From soc.database, import database. One thing, now we need to import cookie from FastAPI. Anything else? We need to import request. There we go. All right, so now we've got all of our imports. And then we can come back over here from soc.auth scheme import get session from cookie, right like that. And so now that's all set up. And if I come back over here and we run it, there we go. It blocks me. 403 forbidden. So I'd have to create a valid session to see the actual data. Do I have a test for that set up? Test admin. I think we do. I think if I run this, something exploded. 2 passed and 2 failed. Why did you fail? One validation error for template settings directory. Do we not set that up here? It appears not. So we have to do from soc.templates.settings Template settings. We're going to duplicate that. Template settings. Directory. Templates. There we go. And now let's run it again. 2 failures still. Why? Oh, that should have been found. Oh, it might be looking inside the test directory. Trying to think. If I were to copy that and paste it in here, and then we run it. Yeah, they all pass that time. It thinks it's got to be in here. It's a little bit irritating. We'll just rename that to that. Cancel. Don't do that. Just want to rename it. Why did it not rename? It's trying to be too smart. Now let's not search for references. Refactor. Do refactor. So nothing should have changed. Just checking my Git. Why did you change that? All right, cool. So now it should work when we run the tests. There we go. The tests run, and then if we come back over here, come on. Why are you not? There we go. And then if we start her back up and we go back over here, reload, doesn't work. All right, cool. Now, if I were to, like, let's come down here. If we do admin, like it's adding stuff into the database. I don't have anything in the database, I don't think, so I can't actually test it that way. I can test it with an email. Well, we won't worry about it for now. We know it's working because it's doing all the tests and stuff right there. All right, so we got that working. So now we've got authentication for a front end page working. So what we've got to do next, I was trying to do Wednesday night, I was trying to get this working, where when you're authenticated, it'll let you access this page. And the way we need to authenticate, good grief, maybe trying to think here, how would I want to do this? Because the hard part is I'm trying to make this work with Discord login, and I can't make Discord login work locally because it has to have a public endpoint for Discord to send a message to. So I can't do it locally. Not easily anyway. Trying to think what I want to do to test this. I mean, once we get the cookie, that's what we can do. So we have this route. Let's just authenticate. Authenticated. What exactly does this return? Oh, I know how I gotta do it. Okay. So what I've got to do is I gotta do response equals HTML response, and the content is going to be this. And then I want to do response set cookie. Let's go back over to the tests, because over in the tests I have this right here. We just need to be able to do this. Token. And then we need to do settings, authentication, settings, and inject, like that. And then up here we need to import JWT, and from SOC dot, goodness, config dot, where do I have my authentication settings at? No. Go back to where the tests go. Where are we getting this from? Controllers. Yeah, everybody jumped me in the wrong spots. There we go. I don't want that. Give me back that. There. From SOC.controllers. Good lord. Everything starts with CONT. Controllers.authentication. Import authentication settings. There we go. Then authentication settings. There we go. I've imported JWT, so that should be working. Set cookie session ID. This can go away because we don't want to authenticate this URL. This is just for testing purposes. Session ID is going to be token. So we're going to set cookie session ID to token. And then if we look over back in this right here, relies on this, you can see this gets the session ID from the cookie session ID. There we go. You're authenticated. So now, if we restart the server and we go back over here, you see that doesn't work. Authenticate. Internal server error. Template not found. Authenticated.html. Oh, okay. That makes sense. Probably should make that. Wait, what? Why did it give me that error message? Oh, I see. Return response. That's what we're supposed to do. All right, so then if I do this, authenticate. Was it authenticated or authenticate? Authenticated. And then if we run it again, we'll see if we go to DB, it's no session data. Authenticate. Internal server. Did I spell something wrong? I did. I spelled it wrong in the file name. Oops. Let's just copy that. And then rename that. Refactor. And then if we try again. Why? Template not found. Authenticated.html. What are you talking about? Templates authenticated. Did we change it somehow in here? Oh my goodness, freaking the refactor goofed it up. Stupid refactor feature. All right, so now if we do it, hello, you are now authenticated. And in theory, if I go to DB, it lets me in. So there we go. Cool. So now we have the cookie, so now we can get authenticated. And let's just real quick for fun, let's add a log out. Log out. Logout.html. Let's rename these. Login.html. Login. And then we're going to delete cookie. And we don't need any of this. Right, like that. We don't need that. So now we have all of this set up. And then we can come over here. And we come down here. We can, well, we have to restart the server, don't we? Now the cookie will still be there, so I can still do it. I can log out. Gives me an internal server error. Oh, right. Gotta create the template. Log out. And then that needs to be renamed. Login. And then we go here. Logged in. And then if we restart everything, log out, you have been logged out. Now if I go to DB, no session, and if I go to log in, you logged in, you are now logged in. And then if I go back to DB again, hello, how are you, Zech? There we go, cool. So now we have authentication working. Now granted, that's not the proper authentication. That's just like a debug authentication that lets me set a cookie and unset a cookie for testing purposes. There's no actual authentication happening there. In the future, that will be handled by Discord auth login, but for now, I just want to get that page working. All right. So next up, manage DB. We're going to rename that F6 manage DB. I don't want you to search literally anywhere. Refactor. Thank you. So now we have that, and let's just make sure that didn't blow anything up. You know, maybe I should go back to school and learn how to spell. Manage. There we go. Now it should work. Ta-da. There we go. So now we have that. Now we have the ability to manage to load a template for that page. All right, next up, let's think. So now I need to be able to, because the whole point of this page right here that I'm working on is just to be able to run database migration. So all this has to do is have an API endpoint at admin app dot get slash API slash API slash v1 slash migrate. We're going to do this. db/migrate. So there we go. And then it's going to be async def migrate database. Oh, look at that. We've reached 7,900 members. Very cool. Pretty awesome. All right. Migrate database. We need to make sure this is authenticated, and that's not going to be from a cookie. That's going to be get session from header. Depends. All right. So now that'll ensure that's only accessed by a valid user. And what does this have to do? This has to do, oh goodness, I don't do this very often, so now we gotta figure out Python run shell command. There we go. Do we have anybody that I really recognize here? Not really. Let's see if this blog post on the top is worth using. I don't want to use the OS model. I'm using the sub-process model. I think that's what we want to do. Import sub-process. And now I have to remember, what is the command for Alembic? Alembic upgrade head. So that should, in theory, all right, and then we get those values, return, standard out. Okay, so that's just a string. Awesome. Standard error. So then we're going to come over here to the manage DB. Manage database. We're going to add a button. D equals migrate DB. Run DB migrations. Do we want it to be a button or do we want it to be an A? Oh no, it needs to be a button. Okay. Script. I think that's what I want to do. Been a while since I've messed with this kind of stuff. Document get ID. Get element by ID. Migrate DB button. That's what we're gonna call it. We're gonna change that. Button. I can't spell. There we go. All right, and then we need to do fetch. We're gonna do slash. What's that URL? Now how do we set headers? Fetch set headers. Loading a file, uploading multiple files. Headers. Oh, good lord. Why are these docs so not great? I just want to set headers, please. Headers. New headers. Don't see why that's necessary, but okay. Authorization. Bearer. JavaScript. Get cookie. How do I get the cookie? Don't want to set a cookie. Holy mackerel. Is it really that complicated? Hmm. Good God. Function get cookie name. Then we have to do cookies. Document dot cookie. Don't want to set a cookie. Seems odd to me to do that. Alright, we're just going to copy their function. That sounds like fun to me. Oh, good God. Why? Why can't you auto format? That would be nice. There we go. Get cookie session ID. That should be correct. Authorization bearer cookie. You know what we're not doing correctly. Button. Add event listener. Click. And then Move that up there. Then this has got to get indented. I think. Huh, cool. Can't do that, I guess. All right, whatever. All right, let's see if it even works. Oh, God. What are you talking about? A cookie from header. What the heck does this mean? Get session from header. Like, the hard part is it's hard to tell what line is causing the problem. Like, it doesn't actually tell you, like, what it was working on when it exploded. Like, it's working on this, but, like, what is it doing? So something's wrong with this, but what? I have no idea. This is really freaking annoying at this point. Um, I think that'll work. Let's try that. See if it blows up. What does that mean? Did I do something wrong here? Doesn't look like it. Did I do it wrong here? I think I did it wrong there. And that's what I mean. Like, it's like so hard to tell where the thing went wrong. All right, there we go. Manage database, run DB migrations. Let's bring up our console. Cannot read properties of what? So that means we have an error here. We should have been doing, let me see, move this down. There we go. Migrate DB button. All right, so that fixed that problem. 404. 404 not found. Oh, you know why? Because it's the admin API. So now, if I restart the server, let's reload that, and then, so we got to request the API v1 DB migrate, network migrate. So everything seems fine. Request headers, authorization. We set the bearer token correctly. Preview the response, standard error. So we've got to figure out what's going on there. All right, cool. Free ID equals migration output. All right. Oh, dot complete, right? I don't remember. See if I can remember anything from JavaScript. All right, console.log. Whereas that'll probably be the fastest way. And then, is it complete? Is it complete? I don't remember how the frick to use this thing. Oh my god. JavaScript using fetch. They don't really want to know how to use the fetch. Dot then. I might be falling back to my old jQuery days. Reload it. Undefined. Good God. Oh, I see, I see. Dot JSON, and then we have to do, once that finishes, we have to do data console.log data. Now I understand what's going on. All right. Run DB migrations. There we go. So now I can right here do standard error. We can do document dot get element by ID. We called that element migration output dot inner text equals reload. Syntax error. Where did I have a syntax error? Why did you not warn me? I guess it did, but reload. Run DB migrations. Booyah. Now we can see the stack overflow, the stack trace. Already exists. All right. So I'm not sure why it attempted to run a table create, if a table already create, it's already created. But what we can do is we can delete this. Delete that. Operational error, syntax error. Why on earth? Like, just out of curiosity, if we were to run Alembic upgrade head, why? Alembic seems to be broken. So let's go ahead. Setting up Alembic. So let's do rm-rf migrations. There we go. And then we're going to do Alembic. Done. And then let's do... There, that worked. So let's get rid of that. So there must be something wrong with the migrations that were already created. So now that we have gotten rid of that, let's attempt to run this. And did that work? Console. Oh, the database or the web server isn't running. There we go. Make this a little bit more complex here. Content equals data dot standard error. Data dot standard error. Data dot standard out. And then we do content. And then we come over here, we reload. Migrations, we got error messages again. Already exists. So let's try that again. There we go. Cool. Very cool. Now, actually, you know what we can do? We'll add a second one. Right like that. And style equals color green. Style equals color, color red. Right like that. And then standard out will equal data dot standard out. And this will equal data dot standard error. And then if we run migrations, we see, don't see my error message. I should have had an error message, right? Interesting. So now if I were to delete the database again, and I were to run the migrations again, odd. Does everything get put out to standard error? Why is everything getting put out to standard error? That doesn't make any sense. Oh well. Now I'm just confused because that should not do that. It should be correct, so I don't know what's going on there. Oh well. But now we're able to run the migrations right from there, which is exactly what I wanted to be able to do. Super duper awesome, super duper cool. Alright, what do we need to do next? I'm trying to think. Alright, awesome. That's working. It's working as expected. So... Actually, does this parse the data? It does, alright. So there should be, in theory... Go back to where we were. There we go. Username, right? Oh, it's email. And then if we were to come over to the template, nothing. All right, cool. That's exactly what I want to see. Why would it be like that? Because the email is empty. Cool. Why is the email empty? Actually, if I go back here, authentic. Whoops, that should be log out, shouldn't it? Log in. Settings, admin, email. Oh, okay, I see. The settings. We gotta go back to. Where am I setting that? Settings, authentication settings. And then I called it admin email. Now if we restart everything and we reload, whoop, detail non-admin. Oops. Oops. I have to come back over here. No, that's not where I want to be. I want to be in here. I want to check up here. Wait, what? Print session.get email settings.admin email. Why is it not behaving? Ooh, there might be a space there. Nope, never mind. This one's empty. So if I do this, let me do this. We can see what everything is. Now you can see there's a string and then there's an empty string. So that means session is not getting the email out. Oh, you know why it's not getting the email out? We need to log out. Yeah, because we created that authentication token earlier. So if we log out, and then we log in, and then we go DB, boom, logged into Zech at Zech.com. All right, we can run migrations, booyah. Very cool. Now, if I were to do, let's see. Bring up the network tab again. Okay. And then if I were to do localhost 8000 /admin /log out, I've been logged out, and then I come back over here, and then I run this, we get a 403 forbidden because we have been logged out. No session. Very cool. Let's see. So we can actually handle that a little bit better in the HTML. Let's see here. If data.detail else and then if we reload that, whoops, gotta log back in. Log in, DB, reload the log out, and then we attempt to run the migrations. No session. There we go. Now we get the error message letting us know what happened, and we're protected against someone being unauthenticated doing anything. Very cool, very cool. All right, so we've got that working. The next tricky bit is I've got to figure out how to do the Discord authentication. That's a little bit harder. We've got 2 hours to work on this. Just trying to think here. It's a bit warm in here, so it's a little hard to think. All right. Let's see. Just looking at Discord real quick. All right. What do we got to do next? Because, like, the things I have to get done next are I got to get the login working. Which isn't actually all that hard to do. It's just a pain in the neck. Actually, let's see if we can't get this up to, if we can't upload this to with a Docker file. Docker build for, got to target AMD 64. Actually, we have to do one more thing because now we have to get the migrations. Not just SOC, we have to get migrations. We got migrations right like that. So there we go. We've got that. And then I've got to grab templates. We've got a few things we have to grab. Templates, and put that in templates. And then let me production. We're gonna keep all of that for now. And then we're going to copy production to production.config.yaml. Put that up there because that should change very rarely. And then run that. Let's see. Boop. Docker, why are you not running? There we go. Now that should run. What are you talking about? Oh, it's still starting. Start faster. Are you started? There, you're running. Okay, it's running. There we go. Now it's building. Build faster. I don't think anything's really changed that much. I'm not sure why it's having to spend so much time building since the last time I built it. Well, while we're waiting for that, we can go over to Kate's deploy. And this is going to be, we labeled it 4, so that's got to be 4. Oh, good grief. It's taking its dear sweet time, isn't it? Oh, goodness gracious. I guess I did change. Did I change? Oh, yeah, you know what I did? No, I don't know what I did. I'm not sure why it's installing packages right now, given I didn't change anything above here, which is where all the package installation is happening. The only layers I changed were down here. Weird. Did I maybe install a package? Or maybe I installed something and so that updated the poetry lock file. So we'll let it run. Slowly it'll get done. Oh my goodness. Why does it require so much stuff to do a website? Like, for real. Like, look at all this stuff installing. And I can't do anything while I wait. There we go. Now it's doing something. We're on step 5 of 9. It is a lot of packages. It's like, I don't understand it. Like, if we go over to, where's my Pi project to lock? Like, I've got Alembic, I've got AIO SQLite, which I need both of those. Then it installs Python date util. I didn't ask for that. NEIO, I didn't ask for that. I'm a little confused why this stuff's getting installed. Why is stuff for Sphinx getting installed? That seems odd to me. ASCII ref, async PGs for the database. I do need that. Maybe it's just saying that's extras that can be installed. I don't know. Atomic rights. I don't know what that does. I don't know what installed that. TERS. Who's using a TERS? Because like I've got Pydantic on this project and I've got a TERS. They're both like competing products. Yeah, NPM can be something else. All right, now we're going to do Docker push, and we got to push number 4. There we go. Preparing. Pushed. Yeah, it's even more confusing because it didn't... The first 4 layers were all already pushed. It didn't have to push anything. There we go. Pushing the last little bits. There we go. And then... Alright, there we go. Cube, cuddle. Apply. And cube, cuddle, get pods, container creating. Why do we have a crash? I don't like that. Yeah, the one that's working is crashed. Okay, and so now we gotta figure out what's wrong there. Logs. Application startup failed. Unable to open database file. Interesting. So I must not have given... Oh dear, that might be a problem. Well, maybe. Let's think. So I think I've got to update the Docker file to give the app user permissions. All right, Kintech, what's the command for me to give this folder read-write permissions for this user? Oh, goodness. Okay, we'll just do that for now, I think. Run. And now this is going to require a lot of stuff to run again. You know what? Actually, we're going to move this down here. Make a little bit less happen. Get rid of this line. Docker. Build. 5. So now we got to go up to, like, I'll automate all of this eventually. But for the time being, it's not. Docker. Push. Whoop. Docker push 5. There we go. This should be over quickly. Cube. Hitting the wrong button here. And then cube. Running, terminating. I think we're good. I think we're good. I don't see any crash back-offs. Let's just real quick pull up the pods. It seems to be running. SOC. It's working. /login. Logged in. I am now logged in. And then if I go to DB, manage database, run DB migrations, failed, no config file, Alembic. Oh no! We have to copy over another file. Oh, why? Okay, so let's go back over to the Docker file. And this will be changed even less than everything else. Alembic.ini. Alembic.ini. All right. Docker build 6. There we go. Docker push 5. And then we got to come back over here. Deploy. And change that to 6. And then we have to do cube. No. I want to apply. I don't want to get. There we go. Apply. Cube. Terminating. All right. Looks like we're good to go. Run DB migrations. Something exploded. Already exists. Not this error again. What does it even mean? And how could it already exist? Running inside of a Docker container. And the whole point of this page is that nothing should already exist. Right? Oh, let me make sure. SOC, if we go over to site. How are we doing the database? Database, provider, config models. Users. Why'd you go back to there? Users, init, config. I don't actually care about the config. Is it running? It shouldn't be running the create tables. If we go over to the test, let me see if I can figure out what it is. Let's just search. Let's search this folder. Find in files. Oh. Oh god. All right. So we have to update this to not do that. All right. Yes, no. Yeah, this is the site. Why is this doing that? We just need to get rid of those 2 lines. And then we do docker build 7 dot. And then we need to update the deploy. And then, come on, docker push 7. And then we have to do apply. And then get watch error image pull. What? Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear. Wasn't supposed to do that. Apply. Get running. There we go. Creating container. Terminating. Running. There we go. Don't know why that said terminating 4 times in a row, but okay. All right. So now if I come over here and I do run migrations, context impl, running upgrade, there we go. There we go. Now it worked. And if I run that again, it will tell me, we'll assume, yeah, so it doesn't do anything. There we go. So now it's working. Now we're able to run the Alembic migrations from an admin authenticated page. Finally. That was a little more work than I would have liked, but we got it working. We figured it out. Very cool. So, the next step, now that we have that working, trying to think. Now that we have that working, we need to figure out the hard part. Not the super hard part, but the harder part, which is getting Discord authentication working. Oh, that should be fun. We'll figure it out. Let's see. So we've got to pull up the docs for that, don't we? Discord.com. Oops, didn't mean to do that, but okay, go with it. We'll go with it. I need OAuth 2. We're going to use this one. Scroll down a little more. Does it show an example of the URL? Yeah, here. So basically what's going to happen, the way this works, where'd it go? Here it is. Now let me just copy it out of there. So what basically is going to happen is we have this URL here. It's got a few different parts. So like they have their authorized endpoint on their API. Then the response type is a code. So what that's going to do is it's going to, we're going to send the user to this URL, okay? And then Discord is going to show that login page where it says, do you want to give such and such application access to your account, right? They'll get access to your email, your username, like it lists out the different things that the app will get access to. So it'll take, this link will take that user to that page, okay? And then the response type code tells Discord, I want you to, once they submit, send them back to me and send me a code. And what that code will let us do is, we'll then be able to use that code to go to, let me see if I find that other list of, to the token URL, right? We go to the token URL, we give it the code we just got back, and it'll give us the authorization token for the user. It just allows it so that the user never, like we never interact with the user directly and the user never interacts with us directly, and yet we can still verify through Discord that they are a Discord user and that this is their Discord information. The client ID is going to be our app's ID. Oh no. think my keyboard just died. Let's plug her in. There we go. And there we go. We're connected again. Then the client ID over here, that is going to be our app ID. And then the scope is going to be what we want to know about the user. So like here they list out all the different kinds of scopes, like, and what kind of like what the application is going to be doing. So like we might read activities, like some of these require Discord approval. Like this one here requires Discord approval. And like, well, the ones we're interested in, let's see, we don't want to be a bot, but like when you set up a bot and like it gets invited to a server, that's what that one right there. It's using that one right there when it takes you to that screen. Connections, like we'll want the email address. This requires any scope, which will return the object without an email and object. Oh, okay. So this will give us back. So if we take the identify scope, we'll be able to go to the users at me endpoint on the Discord API and get back the logged in users information. So when they authenticate with us and we get the token, we will use that token as the bearer token when we make a request to Discord's API, and it'll give us back all of the users' information. Not patch, like I'm trying to see. Where does it show me? Returns user object right here. So it'll give us back the ID, it'll give us the username, their discriminator, their avatar, whether they're a bot, whether it's a system user. We're going to get their user banner, their accent color, where they are in the world, if they're verified. We'll get their email address, their flags, premium types, like what type of Nitro subscription they have. We'll get their public flags. See, I don't know what the public flags are, but yeah. So you'll get all of this information if you use that identify scope. So if we come back down here, so like I'm interested in the email scope and the identify scope, maybe. I think to start with, we'll just stick with the email. Well, I think we want to get the user's name, so we'll have to use email and identify. All right. So what we're interested in is email and identify. Right, like that. We don't care about messages. We don't care about RPC. We don't care about voice. We don't need to care about webhooks. Yeah, so I think that's pretty much everything we care about. Like we could use the guilds endpoint. Like we could take guilds, and that would allow us to see all the servers that they are in, all the Discord servers they're in. There's like the join, which could be interesting. And that'll allow us to join a user to a guild. Interesting. So like you would have, like there's all these different ones. Like that one you would be able to like see the nickname they have in an individual guild or what roles they have, different things like that. All right. Okay, cool. All right, so we want those two. So that's what our scope is going to be. State. This right here, state, is a security thing. So what we would do is we would randomly generate a state for our user. And when we send them here, it's going to be put in that URL. And then Discord, when they come back to us, they're going to tell us what the state was. And that'll let us verify that the information we're getting from Discord, that we're being told is coming from Discord, is actually the information we're expecting. Because only us and Discord should know what that state value is. So if someone else were to call our endpoint with invalid data, we'll know to ignore it. because it doesn't line up with anything that we should be getting. Then the redirect URI, this is where the user will be taken. This one right here, that's telling it when the user says allow for all the permissions for our app, they will be taken to this URL. Now, actually, this URL is set here, and it's set in the Discord admin, like on the application portal page. You set the list of allowed URL redirect URIs, and you're only giving this so it knows which one to use, because you can set a whole bunch of them. So like because like I'm going to use the same application ID, the same client ID. I'm using the same application for all of my login pages. But I don't want like you to log in on one website and get taken to a different website. So that's just telling it, hey, I want you to use the redirect URI for this website. And so we'll have to set that. All right, so that's the first step right there. We can actually create that. Let's do that. And then I already know soc.beginner.codes, right like that. We'll just stick with the state right there. Boom. Identify, and I don't care about guilds. I just care about email. Yeah, so that's how they're doing that. Email, client ID. So I have to get my client ID, and then we want the response type code. And actually, it is safe to do this. I was just thinking to myself, maybe it isn't safe to go to this page, but it is, because the only secret thing is let's come over here. The only thing that's secret is hidden. So the client secret is hidden. You can't even view it without changing the client secret. And the client ID, this is literally going into a URL that the user will click. So this isn't something that has to be kept secret. So if we copy that, and then we create a new tab, boom, go there. Invalid OAuth to redirect URI. So I put in the wrong URI. HTTPS bit SOC. Oh, I see. I didn't put in the full URL that I needed. Your code. Codes. What is happening? All right, there we go. Beginner.codes. %3A. No, it's %2F, isn't it? 2F. And then beginner code /auth %2F Discord. All right, now. Why does it keep wrapping that? Stop wrapping that. I don't want you to wrap that. There we go. Now see, like this is exactly what I was saying. It's just when you take the user to that URL, and like you can see the client ID up there and everything. It just says this application, an external application, beginner.codes, wants to access your Discord account. Tells you who you're signed in as, and tells you I will get your username, avatar, and banner, and I will get access to your email. And then it has all this information. But like the one thing, like I can click authorize, and that'll take us back. Like if we click that, it takes me to, you see, it takes me to that URL we set in the up here. It takes me to soc.beginner.codes auth Discord, and then it provides the code, and then it provides the state down here on the end. So whatever state we give will be right there. Okay. And right now it's not found because we haven't implemented that endpoint yet. That's what we need to implement next, is we need to implement that endpoint. We should probably, I'm trying to think here. We can hard code this because it doesn't actually have, almost hard code this because we have to be able to set the state on it. And then we got to figure out how we're going to generate state. Like it's probably going to end up being a cookie. We'll store a cookie on the client. That'll be like their session ID. So we'll take their session ID and we'll send that to Discord. Well, we'll have to generate a session ID because they're not going to be logged in yet. So we'll have to come up with a session ID, set the cookie on their client, and then we'll use that cookie as their state so that when they come back, we compare the state with the cookie to make sure they match. And if they don't match, we abort, we 403, and then if they match, we either create the user or we update the user or we do something with the user. So that's basically what we've got to do. All right, so what does that mean? We have to, all right, let's see here. We need to create a session ID. We need to send session ID as state in auth request. Compare the session ID to the state when Discord redirects back to us. 403 if the session ID is not correct. Create update user if session ID matches state. All right, cool. So that's what we're doing. And now, like, actually, that's not even correct. That's not even correct because this page gets this information, okay? And all this page is supposed to do with that information is it's supposed to grab this code, okay? And if the state matches what's in the cookie, we have to use that code and we have to send it to, where's the docs? Go back over here. We have to send it to, why am I not in the right spot anymore? Scroll back down to the OAuth too. Okay. So like if the state matches the session ID, okay, we then send the code to the OAuth 2 token URL. Okay. And that, let's come down here. So like here they're explaining how state works. Then we have our authorization code grant. So we send them to that URL. And then it comes back to us at the redirect URI. It's going to come back to us with the code and the state, right? Then we have to go to the token URL. We have to send it our client ID, our client secret, what kind of grant type. So we're doing authorization code because that's what we set in our URL right here. Response type code, okay? And then we give it the code that we got back. And then we give it the redirect URI that code was told to redirect to. Like this is all, the reason why we have to tell it that is so that it knows that like we're the same, we're trying to provide as much proof that we're the same service as what it sent out to begin with. And like then they have an example right here. But then that right there is going to return this access token, okay? It's going to tell us it's a bearer type token, and it's going to give us a refresh token. So we're going to actually need to store this refresh token. And it expires in. So what we got to do is we've got to create a table. Oh my gosh, there's so many steps to this. But we're going to have to create a table that's going to store the access token, what time the access token was created, and the type of token. So we're going to need to store those three things. And then we're going to have, well, we'll have to also store who it's for. So we'll store that it's a Discord token, it's a Discord access token, it's a bearer token, and it expires, and we'll set the time that it expires based on the expires in timestamp it gives us, right? And then we have to store Discord refresh token. Well, we'll probably just we'll just store it as another token, and we'll say the token type is refresh token. And that's not going to have an expiration. And the reason why they do that is because, like, let's see, how long is 604,800 seconds? divided by 60, divided by 60, divided by 24. That's literally a week. So according to that, it's lasting a week. So what happens is every week we have to check back in with Discord to say, hey, I need a new token. And so like you have to update it every week to make sure it's a proper token. And I'm trying to just see here. Does it tell us how to refresh a token? It does. So they have the example for how to refresh. Trying to see. Yeah, it's just going to the auth2 token again. But you're just setting a refresh token this time. And up here, you're setting so this one's a little bit different, but it's the same endpoint. So you just change what the JSON data is to refresh the token. And this will just return us basically the exact same thing as that one up above. So it's going to have this information. It probably won't have a refresh token. You're just getting a new access token. And that's just so that the access token only lasts a week. If we have it for longer than a week, we can refresh it. And the only reason they want to do that is because if there's any reason like why you shouldn't be getting a new token, they want your access token to expire. It makes things a little bit easier for them. I don't know how long their token lasts, but this is a common pattern when doing authentication. All right. So what do we got to do? We need to get the endpoint that I put in here working. So let's come back over here. It'll be easier to copy it from here. Copy that. And then we need to come over to admin. Actually, no, we need to create a new one of these. Auth.py. Go away. We don't need that anymore. Auth app. Auth app. No, I don't want to paste that. I want to paste this. That right there. Auth Discord. We're just going to call it Discord. Because this is going to get mounted on the site. And we're going to do soc.auth import, auth app, right like that. And then we do auth app. All right, cool. So now we have the auth app mounted. And now we're going to add the Discord endpoint, which is the one that's going to be our redirect URI. And that is going to accept... Oh gosh, how do we do the base models in this again? I forget. It's kind of hot in here. Oy, oy, oy. What's the time? 4:48. All right. Let's see how far we can get in this in the next hour. We come back over here. No. I thought I clicked on this window. Go back over here. Go away. I don't care about any of you. There we go. Discord code auth. Now, this is going to probably end up redirecting. Like, it's going to make a request out to Discord. It's going to get the access token, and it's going to add it to the database with the refresh token. It's going to add both tokens to the database. Actually, do we need to do that? Now that I'm thinking about it, do we actually need to do that? Because all I need to do is I need to get the user's email, okay? And then I need to get the user's name, and I need to get the user's Discord ID. So we have, that's all we really care about here. We're using the email for authentication. We're using the Discord ID just so we can like just look up to, I don't even think we need to store that. Do we even need to store that? No, we just need their username. We just need their username, and we'll just store that in the users table. So we'll just create the user if they don't exist. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to do. We don't need to do any of that other stuff. So what that means is we're going to get the auth. We're going to get the code back here, right? That's going to be as a query string. Then we're going to have to make a request to Discord to get their access token. And then we have to make a request to Discord to get the user's information with that access token. So let's see if we can't do that. Shouldn't be too hard. All right. I think I'm gonna turn on the air conditioner. Let me know if it's too noisy, but it's getting very, very warm in here. So yeah. All right, that is immediately better. Let me know if it's too noisy. I'll put it on low cool. There we go. So maybe it'll be a little less noisy that way. Hopefully, the noise reduction stuff I have turned on for OBS will help out a lot. Yeah, let me know if it's too noisy. Because if it's not too noisy, then every week I'll just leave the air conditioner on and not sweat to death. Sounds good to me. Alright. Discord code off. This isn't going to need anything there, but we do need the cookie. Cookie. See how many times in a row I can say cookie. Alias, session ID. All right. Now this is probably going to do a redirect, but I'm not sure to where just yet. So we'll figure that out in a minute. For the time being, let's make that. So we get rid of those error messages and get rid of all of this because we don't need any of it. There we go. So now we're getting the cookie, we're bringing it into here. I have to figure out how do I get the query string. Let's go to localhost 8000 auth / discord. Code equals testing. Doesn't work because we don't have it running. Query code string query. I think that's what we have to do. Cookie. I think that's just a string. And then we're going to do code string is code. There we go. All right, cool. So now if we do that and we load this, it's saying what did I do wrong with the cookie? How did I do the cookie here? Oh, I've got to set a default on the cookie. Default empty string. There we go. And now if we restart our server, cookie empty code testing. Very cool. And I think if I do localhost admin / login, and then we come back over here. There we go. Now we have a session cookie. All right, cool. Awesome. Pretty nifty. Now we have all that working. I think what we're gonna need to do is we're gonna set a @auth app dot get /discord /login, right? And this is going to redirect from FastAPI responses import redirect. No, redirect response. It's gonna be a redirect response async def Discord login. And so what this here is going to do is it's going to create a random session ID, and it's going to set it as the cookie, and then it's going to redirect the user out to Discord's auth page. So that's what this is going to do. And it's going to set the session cookie as the state. Discord login, does it need anything? I don't think it needs anything. Then we're going to do response equals redirect response response.set cookie session ID. Do I have I not created anything for generating the, what was it here? Create access token. So we do need to inject something. We need to do from soc.context import inject. This is going to be auth, and we need to do from soc.controllers.authentication import authentication. Authentication, right, like that. And then what is that complaining about? Oh, so we gotta tell it where to refer it to. Session ID equals auth dot create access token, and then it's gonna require a user model, which it doesn't have to be a user model. It's just got to be the same interface. And we can see that it needs to have an ID and a username. So that's where we're going to go back and we're going to do simple. I'm trying to think where that's from. From types import simple namespace. These are pretty nifty. These are pretty handy things. So what we can do is we can do a simple namespace. ID equals -1. Username equals unauthenticated user. All right. And it's going to complain because it doesn't expect a simple namespace, but it's the correct API, so it'll work. And then the read, and we're going to have to build that in a second. Session ID equals session ID. Like that. All right, cool. And why are you complaining? Is that an async function? It is. I don't know why it's async, but okay. We can await it. Not a problem. There we go. Session ID. Now we've got that working, and then we have to return response. What are the properties here? URL status code. 307. I just want to make sure Because I want this to be a temporary redirect. That's a temporary, okay. Just wanted to be sure. I didn't think that it would default to a permanent redirect, but I didn't want to assume anything. This should be correct. Whoops. Response type code, client ID, scope identify. Now, I'm actually going to go into the authentication controller and let's pull out client ID, string, field, default, emp equals SOC, client ID. Probably end up moving this somewhere else in the future, maybe. But we'll leave it here now, for now. And then client secret. Client secret. So this will let me put all of that information out into the virtual environment, or into the environment variables, or I can put it into my config files, which is handy for local development, so I don't have to set all these config environment variables. And I can change them when testing and all that stuff. But then when it's in production, I don't have to commit a file to my GitHub, which I do not want to be doing. So I can put all the secrets out onto the Kubernetes cluster, and it'll just pull them in from the environment variables. All right, so I now need to grab that. Settings. Application settings, there we go. Now we've got the settings. And let's do client ID, settings dot client ID, scope identify, and then we do state. We're going to have is going to be the session ID. Session ID, redirect URI. Oh, we should actually put that into the settings as well. Discord, redirect. Ooh, we're gonna do this differently. Take that out. Okay. And then we're gonna have Discord settings equals field default factory JWT settings. Nope. Discord settings. And then we do class Discord settings, base settings model. Paste that in here. So now in the future, like if I were to add a GitHub OAuth, it's going to work extremely similarly. So now I can just add another settings section, GitHub, to my authentication settings, and I'll have all that information in there as well. So then I come back over here, and I have to do, right here, Discord.client ID. There we go. That works. And then session ID, redirect URI is going to be settings dot discord dot redirect URI. And then I'm going to need to URL escape that. How do I do that in Python? Python URL escape. And okay, is that the correct one that we want to be using? I think it is. Yeah, that's the one we want to be using. Quote. Yeah, it says query, so it's for the query strings. All right. We have to come up here. We have to do import urllib.parse. Redirect URI equals urllib.parse.quote settings.discord.uri. There we go. And actually, I think I will clean this up a bit. Do that. That. State. Redirect URI. There we go. And prompt equals consent. Okay, cool. So it's pretty simple. Turn response. All right. Trying to think here. Session ID string equals cookie default none, and the alias is session ID. Like that. So I want to check and see if the session ID is already set. If it's already set, we're just going to reuse it. If session ID is none, like that. And it's fine to set the cookie like that. Redirect URI. So this should be about correct, right? Just trying to reason through the lines here, making sure everything looks right. Discord login, Discord. So if I come back over here, let's go close a bunch of these tabs. We've got a bunch of tabs that we don't need open right now. Whoops, we do need that one. And then let's log out. All right. And then if we go command-shift-I, console document .cookie, it's empty. There's no cookies set, okay? So on localhost, we have no cookies set. And then if I restart this, response class, there we go. There we go, now we're waiting. So let's reload this, let's see. Yeah. Go here, and then we'll do document.cookie, empty, no cookies, okay? And then we're gonna go auth/discord/login. And we got an error message. But we got redirected. Well, oh, okay, I see what happened. Discord is giving us an error message. This is from Discord. Because we're on Discord right now. So it worked to redirect us. So if we go back to here, and now we do document.cookie, You see, now we have a cookie set. It set the session ID when we did that redirect. But because we're not setting the client ID inside of our settings, it blew up. And we need to set up our redirect URI. So we come down here. I'm going to set them inside of development. We're going to do it inside of production too. So some of the stuff's going to go inside of production. We're going to do Discord, redirect. Yeah, I had that right. URI. And that's going to be this URL. That's going to be that URL right there. And then we go over to development config, because this is going to get set on the environment. No, actually, no, I don't think I can actually do that. And then we do client ID. Did I save that? It's right there. That's our client ID. So now, if I restart everything, load that, we should still have our cookie. Yeah, there still has the cookie in there. Then we do auth / discord / login. Why is it saying client ID is wrong? Let's grab this right here, paste it in here. Oh, good God. So we've got that response type code, client ID. Client ID is still empty. Why is client ID empty? Excuse me, that doesn't make any sense. So I must have done something wrong without realizing it, obviously. Usually how it works. Let's just make sure client ID, copy that. And then we go to production.config. Maybe I've got that name wrong. So the client ID got... There we go. So we got that. We got the redirect URI. Did the redirect URI get set correctly? No, that didn't get set either. So... what did we goof up? Where did we mess up? It wasn't here. It should be pulling it in, right? No? Yeah? What's going wrong here? What is happening here? Clearly using the factory, so it's not finding the Discord. Oh, you know why? I know why. I know why. It's the same reason I was thinking I couldn't do it that way before. So this is getting overwritten by this config file. If I put this here, and then I restart the server, and then we go back, console, document, .cookie. So we can see we have our cookie in there. Just out of curiosity, it ends with FSVM. Then if I go to auth / discord / login, there we go. That worked. Now we got the client ID in there. We've got the... why is it not scrolling? And then it has the URL. Why did it not escape everything? It didn't escape everything. I need it to escape everything. It seemed to work though, but I need it to escape more than just that. Dot. Quote, quote, quote. Let's try that. We'll try that one out and see if that does what we need it to. Back. Oh, we're not running. The internal server error. What? What are you talking about? Prairie. What does that even mean? Excuse me, what? Uh, let's see how complicated this function is. And it doesn't take me to the function, it takes me to... that's so annoying. Type error. It would be nice if it told me what it's talking about. Is it just quote plus? Maybe it's quote plus. I don't think it's quote plus. But we can try it. There we go. It was quote plus. There we go. Because now it's doing the %2f. So that'll be safer and will work in more browsers. Like, it should work in all browsers the other way, I think. I'm not totally sure. But there we go. So now we've got that working. So now we're redirecting people out to that site. Now comes the hard part, because this is going to go back to our public site, right? I'm trying to think, maybe... Yeah, it's going to do that. I wonder... I'm trying to think if there's maybe a possibility if I could test this locally. I'm not sure, though. Well, that's what we can do, because it does... Yeah, we can test it locally. I know how we can do it. Next up... I think I'm gonna leave that. I would have to come over here and change that. We'll leave it for now. So we have Discord login, and then the redirect takes us to here, right? It's going to give us the code and the cookie. Oh, we need to get state as well. State string equals query. Right, like that. If cookie is not equal to state, raise FastAPI HTTP exception 403 invalid state. Right like that. Okay, cool. So now, if I were to go ahead and authorize this, let's go ahead and restart this. Like, this isn't going to work directly, but what we can do is, because this just gives us back a URL. Okay? So what I can do is, I can come over here and change that to local host 8000. Boom. So we get cookie and we get code. And it didn't raise a 403 invalid state. That means that they were equal. And if I were to come in here and go to state and just change that, invalid states. There we go. So now it verifies the state and it matches the cookie that was set when we attempted to log in. All right, awesome. So now we just send our user to soc.beginner.code/auth/discord/login, and that'll handle creating the cookie if it needs to be created, and then redirecting the user to Discord to authorize our app. And then when they click the authorize, it takes them back to soc.beginner.code/auth/discord, which checks that the session ID matches the state that was given to Discord. If it does, we're able to work with it. If it doesn't, it raises an invalid state exception. All right, cool. So we're making a lot of progress here. We're getting there. Let's see if we can't get Discord login working before 6 o'clock. So it's like in another 39 minutes. I think we can do it. I think we're pretty close as it is right now. Because right here, all we have to do is get the authorization code, get authorization token, all right? Then we need to get the user's email and username. And then we need to store the user's email and username in the database. If and then create an authenticated session ID. Okay, because then we got to change the cookie. Because currently the cookie they have is going to be set up with ID -1 username authenticated user. So it's not an actual user. It's just a very basic session ID. You know what? This is actually I'm trying to think. Session private key. So we need to add more information to this. Otherwise, everybody who attempts to log in is going to get the exact same session ID. But for now it'll be fine. Next up, where did we end up here? Go away. So like at some point we need to update this to make it a little bit smarter. So that isn't the case. But for now, this will be fine. Create the authentic. And so like we have to create an authenticated session ID. So we have to regenerate the session ID with their new user ID and with their username that we got from Discord. And then we set that as the cookie. And then we'll redirect them to like the home page or something, or wherever they came from. We'll probably have to store that in a cookie too, like where they came from or whatever. But that won't be super hard to do. That'll be pretty simple. And that's something we can add later. So I'm not going to worry about that today. But then, if the database explodes, set the session cookie, session ID to a cookie holding the email address. redirect to admin slash manage slash db. I think that's the URL it's got to go back to. So what that'll do is it'll set the cookie to have their email address, since that's all we know about them, right? And then we'll redirect them to the admin DB page, which is that migration page we got working at the beginning of the stream, well, about midway through the stream. And that page will check if that email address is the admin email address that's been set in the settings. If it is, and since it came from Discord, we can trust it. If it is, it'll show the admin DB page where you can click the migrate button. And you can run the migrations to create the database. And then you'll be able to log in and it'll work. Otherwise, if the email doesn't match the admin email, it's going to give a 403 and they won't be able to do anything. Oh well, the website's broken until the admin logs in to create the database. So that's what we're doing here. So we got to get the authorization token. To get the authorization token, we're going to use HTTPX. Import HTTPX. What are the tests? The tests are already set up to do this. Client, how are we setting up client? There it is. It's right there. From HTTPX, import client. Client? Was it just client? Async client. There we go. That's what we want. And then, so here we do async with async client. And how does that work? We give it as client. And now we gotta go back to the Discord docs, don't we? So we're trying to figure out how to use this token URL. We gotta scroll back down here. Authorization code grant, token URL. The next up, we've got to go to the token URL. We have to make a post request. Await equals await client dot post, and then the URL. I should have just. Oh, I think they have it pasted in here, right? API equal. I'm going to do this because API slash OAuth 2 slash token. Okay. And then we're going to do data equals. Then we've got to get the client ID, so we've got to inject that. Was that down here? We have that somewhere right there. Authentication settings. Whoops, that's the wrong spot. Gotta go right here. There we go. So now we have the settings. And so then we got to pass in the client ID. I don't know why I just did that. That didn't make any sense. Settings.discord.client ID. And then we've got to do client secret. This is going to be fun. I got to paste the client secret in there. I have it. Settings.discord.client secret. Next up, we've got to do the grant type. It's going to be authorization code. Code. It's going to be the code. and redirect URI. Does the redirect URI have to be? No, it doesn't. Okay. The redirect URI is going to be from settings.discord.uri. Like that. Okay, so now we have all of that set up. That's being sent out as data. And then we have to pass headers. I don't think we need to set that. But we can. And like that. There we go. So that should, in theory, get back an authorization token. Data equals resp.json. And now we should have an access token. So we can use that. Now we want to get the user's email and username. So now we're going to do resp equals wait client dot get, and this one's going to be FAPI. So this is going to be a little bit different. Just got to figure out where the docs went for what I need. Here we go, right here. So we just need to do API/users/@me, and headers equals authorization f bearer, and then we do data access token, right like that. And that should, in theory, print data. Let's do that. Actually, you know what? We'll just return data. So now, if we restart this and we do that, okay, and then we come here and we do localhost discord auth/login, like that. So there we go. We're taken to Discord. We click authorize. We're on the wrong site because it takes us to the public site. We can change that. And then we do localhost 8000 internal server. Access token. Wrong. Okay, cool. Oh, because I don't have the client secret. Whoops. Whoops. Alright, so we gotta get the client secret in there. So, excuse me while I take this off screen so I can get the super secret stuff. And I'm gonna need this too, because it's in there. I need to cat. Go. That is my secret. And then over here, I need to do... How do I want to do this? You know what I'll do? I'll do... what did I name that? Authentication. Equals that. Here. Alright, so there we go. That's set. I see I've made a mistake here. Discord redirect. So that should be correct now. And I gotta clear my clipboard real quick. I gotta remember how to do that. Clear history. Clear history. There we go. Alright. Now we can go back to normal. Back to our regularly scheduled. Then... Oh no, that's the wrong window. Supposed to go over here. And that is gonna go back over here. Like that. There we go. Okay, so now... Now we need to do... What do we need to do? Python, there we go. Boom. So that's running. Then we come back over here and we do another error. Oh, I see what's wrong. Now you have to make this shorter. Access token. Why is it saying the access token is wrong? It should be getting the... Client secret, client ID, redirect URI, print, resp, print, data. All right. Restart the server. $400 bad request. What? Why is it a bad request? Invalid coding request. All right. Let's try doing another. Let's try it one more time and see if maybe the code got reset or something. Login. Authorize. Localhost 8000. Oh, there we go. It worked. Boom. We scroll down here, we see we got a 200 access token, expires in 6,000, yeah, it expires in a week, refresh token, we've got a scope, we've got an identify email and an identify token. And why? Oh, I see why. Resp.data, or JSON, like that. So now let's restart that, and we're gonna have to do it all over again, because I goofed one thing up. /login, all right. Authorize. Localhost 8000. ID, there's my ID, username Zech.codes. There's my avatar identifier. There's my avatar decoration null. I have a discriminator, my public flags, my banner identifier, my banner color, accent color, my locale is ENUS. So there we go. And there's my email address for all of you to email me. Whoops. Oh well. So yeah, there we go. That worked. It did the thing it was supposed to do. And now we can add people to the database. Yay. All right. Oh my gosh. In the get isn't like which stuff? Like right up here? Like this code and stuff? Yeah, that's a one-time thing, which is why it broke and I had to redo it again. Because once you've used it, it invalidates. Nothing in here is actually super, like what it just showed in the page a few seconds ago in the browser, like the refresh token and all that stuff. That's all limited. That OAuth has limited that, so it's only valid to get my user information, which is all publicly available information. So, yeah. Like, I don't really care about my email getting out there because if you go check any of my repositories on GitHub, my email is in there. So, not exactly a private thing. Store the user's email password in the database. Alright, so next up, we've got to attempt to store stuff in the database. And to do that, I've got to get the database from soc.database, import database. And then we do db database equals inject database, right, like that. Pretty simple. Oh, right. Database, wait, db dot. Why are you not auto-completing stuff? I'm a little bit confused. db. It's saying it's not being used. What? Oh, it's unreachable, I see. User data equals, there we go, now it's accessible. db.users.create okay. Username, password, email. We're not going to set a password. We're just going to set an email. We can set an avatar. We can set a session ID. Oh, I see what that is. Okay. Never mind. That's injected. So then, what was that? We need username and email. And then eventually we'll do avatar. Username equals user data. Username, and then email equals user data email. Like that. And creating this. Wait. Does that return a new user? It does. User equals. Right, cool. And then we need to create an authenticated session. Session ID equals. I need to get the authenticator. Authentication equals inject. Authentication. Nope. Authentication. It'd be nice if it showed things in the same order every time. Session ID equals auth.create access token user. There we go. What is it complaining about? What is it complaining about? Expecting user model got user. Oh, big whoop. I think that shouldn't matter. Let's just double check and make sure. Yeah, that has an ID and a username, so that should be compatible. And then we have to create the response. Response equals redirect response. There we go. And that's going to, let's just redirect to the home URL. Redirect to slash. And then we do response dot set cookie. Session ID is going to be session ID. So now they're authenticated as themselves. Oh, right. And this has got to be awaited. There we go. Cool. All right. Now, we do need to add a try around this. Not that. This right here. Try. Else. This needs to move to here. And then that's going to go there. For the moment, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do as e print e raise. Actually, I don't need to print because we're just going to raise it again. So there we go. So what that's going to let us do, that's going to change the redirect actually. So and that's going to go to admin/db. And it's going to set session ID equals way auth dot create access token email access token and user data email user data username, like that. So we've got to define that function now. It's actually going to be just duplicating this pretty much. Create email access. Email access token, user model, not it's going to be user name, string, email, string, right like that. And then we're going to encode username, and then email. There we go. So now that'll create a token that has the information we need in it. Return response. And let's update the home page. Do we have anything set up on that? How do I do that? Go back over here. Index. SC.context. Import inject. That's working. And then we do template index HTML. And username equals. We need to grab that token. How do we do that again? From SLC.auth scheme import get session from cookie. Session dict equals depends. I'm going to put that, aren't I? Get session cookie. Like that. So I'm going to import depends. There we go. And then username is going to be session dot get username not logged in. All right, now we got to create the index template. All right, so let's see. I come back over here, restart the server. Let's see if anything blows up. So like if we go to localhost 8000, not an admin. Why on earth would I need to be an admin to access the home page? All right. So we need to make a less stringent session from cookie. No auth. Session from cookie. No auth. Return else return session. All right, and then if we come back over here, no. Reload that. Hi, unauthenticated user. Cool. So then if we you know what? Do I have? Yes, I have the DB. Cool. All right, so that should work. Let's see if this works. Let's see if this works. Auth, login, Discord, redirecting, authorize, not found. We need to do localhost 8000. Detail, not an admin. Why did it blow up? So something didn't work that was supposed to work. Ay. All right. So where were we working? We were working inside of auth. And for some reason it hit here. It got an exception. So I'm not sure what the exception was. Print exception E. So let's restart it and try again. Auth / Discord login. Boom. Authorize. We gotta go to localhost. Detail, not an admin. Oh my gosh. You gotta be kidding me right now. Oh my goodness. Username, password, email. They're all required. So this is not necessary. And this is not necessary. This is. There we go. And so now if we restart the server and run it again. Auth, login. Authorize. We gotta go to localhost. Hi, you are Zech.codes. So it redirected me to the home page, right? And so then if I were, let's see, if we go to admin / DB, I'm not an admin. So we have to set that up. We have to figure out how to set it up to make a new user an admin, right? But now it recognizes me. It's like I can come up here, I can turn off the server, and I can restart the server. And then I can go here, localhost 8000. It remembers who I am. And then if I go auth / logout, detail not now. If I go to admin / logout, right? I've been successfully logged out. And if I come back here, internal server error. Why did I give an internal server error after we logged out? I don't know. See if we can figure it out. Invalid token type. Why does that matter? Oh, JWT dot exceptions dot decode error. And then if we kill that restarter. Hi, not logged in. You are not logged in. You are not. So there we go. That works. Now we're able to log in and create a user as Discord. And if we come over here to the database and let's select star from users, let's select username. Select ID and username from users. Run. There we go. You see that there's one user in the database. Now, just out of curiosity, if I were to do auth Discord login, so let's do it again. Now that we've already created a user, and we got to go back to localhost. Hi, you are Zech.codes. And then if I run this again, it created another user. So it's not looking for the user yet. We haven't set it up to do that just yet. I figured it should have exploded. Maybe we have a problem in our database models. Models, users, because the email address should be unique. Oh, goodness gracious. What's the... is it unique? I don't even know. I hate these people for not making their stuff work correctly. good God. SQLAlchemy. Unique constraint. There we go. Defining constraints and indexes. Where's the information I want? Like, I literally Googled for it. Like, why am I not seeing the thing I want? I don't want a foreign key constraint. I want a unique constraint. How do I make it unique? There we go. It's just literally unique. Okay. That's what I figured it would be, but it's like, I don't have any autocomplete or anything. There we go. So now that'll be unique in the future. That does require me to do Alembic. Make email addresses unique. So that's working. Let's just now let's what do we want to do? We're gonna do this. We're going to Docker build. We're gonna make that number 8. We're gonna come over here and we're gonna do deployment. Gonna make that number 8. And then we gotta do Docker push 8. Let's see if we can't get this working in production. All right, looks like it might be working. Says I'm not logged in. And then if I do auth.discord/login, it asks if I want to log in. Authorize. Internal server error. Oh, you know why? Because I don't have the secret working on there yet. So I'll have to figure out how to add that when I'm off stream. I'm gonna have to regenerate it because I know it did get shown on video by accident because I cleared the terminal, but when it resized, everything that was cleared showed up again. So I'm gonna have to reset that token, and that's not a big deal. I'm not using it for anything right now, so yeah, that's pretty cool. I think we pretty much got it working. We've got Discord login working for sure. It was a little bit clutchy, a little bit difficult. We've got a few more things to figure out, like how to prevent users from how to update a user rather than creating a new user every time they log in. And we'll have to set an expiration time on the cookies. There's a few different things we got to do still to get the login working fully correctly. But now we have Discord login, and it's pretty simple. Once you get it working, it's pretty simple. It's not too super duper complicated. But yeah, so that was fun. If you're new here and you don't know much about us, we run the beginner.code's Discord server. I run the beginner.code's Discord server. We're coming up on 8,000 members, but we still feel like a small community where you can ask a question, you can chat without your message getting lost in a deluge of messages. So we'd love to have you. If you want to reach out to me, I check the comments here. I'm on Twitter at Zech Codes. It should be in the description, and you can join us on the beginner.code's Discord server where I'm active daily. So I hope you all have a great week. I will be live Wednesday at 5 p.m. Eastern time. I'm not sure about next Sunday because next Sunday is the 3rd and the 4th is a holiday here in the United States. So I may be busy with family and friends, hanging out, having a fun summer barbecue. I'm not sure yet. So yeah, y'all have a great week. I will see you Wednesday, and you have a great night.